What's up, everybody? We're not in Japan right now. We're in my office. I've been editing this footage for 5 or 6 hours now. I shot over 350 videos to share with you guys of Japan. And the place is such an amazing, intricate, just like, it's got so many layers that I'm having a real tough time just picking out one little thing to show you guys, be it Tokyo Auto Salon or Tokyo car culture. I think you guys have been misled, and so have I. But I've learned a few things about how to enjoy it while there. Or traveling with friends, the story of getting to go with 2 other YouTubers that I've known since I've started my entire career, travel to a different country and hang out together. Or just the amazing story of how amazing Japan is and the people are there. And I think rather than trying to just pick one and tease one, I'm gonna do it in the BS for Build way, and I'm gonna mash them all up together. Let's start with me getting kidnapped in Japan by Americans.
Okay, you ready?
Let's do this.
Hey guys! Housekeeping!
No, I gotta film an ad spot. I have to film an ad spot. Wait, what?
Before we get down to work, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Auto System Mechanic Ultimate Defense. So what this is one easy to use piece of software. It's a software solution that helps boost your PC's system performance, but also at the same time, it's helping protect you from malware and viruses and then keep your identity protected. How it works is pretty great. They've taken a bunch of different features, a bunch of different things you normally have to pay for separately, bundled them all into one really easy to use package, all focused around achieving the same goal. Just have a better time on your PC. And with unlimited defense for up to 10 devices, just one subscription protects all the PCs in your home. And even better than that, System Mechanic Ultimate Defense comes with a tech support plan. This is huge. And that covers all of your internet connected PC devices. So be it day or night, one simple call to the IOLO's tech support team, they'll get you sorted out. So we're in my office right now. I'm gonna throw it on my computer. Let's give it a spin. So right away here, when we jump in the performance area, it's looking at a bunch of junk files that could really clutter up somebody's PC. Now I haven't done any maintenance on this PC in the last 3 years since I've owned it. So these would be good things to eliminate, and I totally agree with the software in here. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the antivirus and give my system an entire scan, which I have never done. Let's see what it finds. And through the magic of fast forwarding, you can see it's going through a ton of files. Right away though, we found 2 really interesting things. One is a Trojan virus that I did not know that I have, a little bit concerning. And the other is a semi-suspicious piece of development hardware that I have that is okay, and I know it's okay to keep. Now, having installed this and used this on my PC, I can vouch for this. I can say it's a solid piece of software. It's finding what it needs to find. It's protecting what it needs to protect, and it's doing a good job of PC performance cleanup too. So guys, do not wait until it's too late for your PC. Get protected now. Go to iolo.com. That's IOLO.com, and use my code BSForBuild, and you're gonna get 60% off System Mechanic Ultimate Defense, and you're gonna get 30 days of live tech support for free. Huge thanks to IOLO for sponsoring this episode. Let's get down to work. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's go to Tokyo Auto Salon. First thing about Tokyo Auto Salon is don't stay in the part of town where Tokyo Auto Salon is. Stay somewhere more fun in Tokyo and then take the train into Tokyo Auto Salon. And once you're there, make sure to take a look at the map to see all the different halls and all the different exhibit areas that Tokyo Auto Salon has to offer. This year, the builds were much more suited my style. There's a lot more fun race cars and a lot less high-end exotics that didn't have a lot of mods on them. Lots of fun GT3 race cars like this AMG, what I would normally call a GTR, but I believe is technically called an AMG GT3. It's got such a cool, fun livery on it for a super expensive race car, but then also when you just dive into the details, I love how used and practical these race cars really are. And I couldn't get the shot from the interior because this car was a very popular, what I would call a showstopper here at the show. I couldn't get a really in-depth detailed shot at the interior, but it's absolutely incredible. Such driver-focused, utilitarian interior. BMW also had a manufacturer booth there, and this all carbon fiber M4 GT3 really blew me away. I love this car. I like that we're at a car show, but they're showing us real cars that get really used in racing. You can see they're not super worried about panel gaps here and things like that. It's just, this is a race car. This is how they look when they get used. and it's super, super awesome. Subaru also had a manufacturer's booth there, and they brought their BRZ GT3, which was way, way wider than you normally do a wide body kit. It looks like in the rear that it's about 5 inches wider than factory, but it works. It's amazing, and I bet this car would be so much fun to drive. On the more practical side, the Suzuki Jimny, again, always steals the show at Tokyo Auto Salon. These things were absolutely everywhere and looking cool as hell. They make them in a diesel, 5-speed, manual transmission, 4-wheel drive. I mean, I want one of these so badly, still want one. My key takeaway from last year was that I wanted one, and guess what? It hasn't changed. Bang for the buck, definitely my favorite builds that we saw at Tokyo Auto Salon. And also, what is insanely considered practical these days, wide body Lexus SC 500. This car really, really stood out to me. I love the way that they did the wide body kit. It's subtle. It's not the same one that everybody else has. I love that kind of matte slate gray coloring that really, really shows the body accents. And this car has one of the most killer interiors and sound systems that I've ever seen. And I keep seeing these around, and I know they're getting more and more rare, so this one just stood out to me as something I probably need to get before the gettings go. And what's that phrase? Well, the getting's good. Although it's not that good, they're still really expensive, but I need to get one before they're more expensive. Now let's jump into the Impractical. How about we jump all the way into the wildly Impractical, which nobody at Tokyo Auto Salon represents that more than Liberty Walk. And I mean this in the best way. This Liberty Walk Ferrari is incredible. The paint is immaculate, and it really, for the first time, made me honestly really want one of these. But I kept thinking, if I got one, I'd really want to make it electric, because you know the motor in this thing is just gonna break every other week. But this car was stunning and always had a crowd around it, and when you see it, it doesn't even need the wide body treatment that it has, but it just looks so cool from the back, seeing the fender arches and how good they look. And if you thought that was expensive, think no more. Wait till they cut up a multi-million-dollar Ferrari F40. This is a lot of our poster on the wall dream cars. And I think for the first time in my life, I looked at a wide body car and said, really? But sometimes to have fun with building cars, you really got to push your own personal limits. And for me, this taught me that Liberty Walk's limits financially are a lot higher than I thought. And parked right next to the F40 was an in-development piece that I love. You could tell that they were working on it days before the show. You could smell the fresh primer on it. And this might be hard to notice what it is. A lot of people would look at this and think that it's a Huracan. And I actually did as well. I got to talking to the guys at Liberty Walk and showed them the work that I had done on Huracans, and they loved it, and they invited us in to see. This is their Murcielago project. Once I got to see a little bit closer, I could definitely tell it was a Murcielago, but there's not a lot left of the Murcielago, which is very interesting. Although the Murcielago V12 is on the way, it's going to come back into this car, and this is a body kit that they are going to sell to Murcielago owners coming in, I believe it's late 2023 or early 2024. It is pretty damn stunning. It is a very interesting look that changes almost every single body panel on the Murcielago. Side note, the new Prius, Toyota showing us that they could have made the Prius sexy the whole time. They just chose not to until now. And the one thing that really stood out to me at Tokyo Auto Salon is the attention to detail of the women. I'm kidding, it's not the cars, guys. Tokyo Auto Salon, for some reason, the thing that draws the most crowds is not the cars, but it is the models. And it is just a culturally different thing, and I'm all for it, guys. Get them pictures while you can. Now, to ease the pain of what I'm about to say, here is a cat at a cat cafe where the women dress like cats. Tokyo car culture, and I'm not saying all Japanese car culture, but Tokyo car culture is somewhat misleading. When we look at some of the biggest cities in the world, we have Tokyo, London, Paris, New York. They all have the same problem. With the population density so dense, the roads cannot be used for driving around pleasurably. They're miserable cities to drive in. And I hate to break it to you, but Tokyo is no different. Is it more efficient? Yes, because the Japanese are great at that type of stuff. But on a household by household basis, the Japanese own half as many cars as Americans. And when you watch the streets of Tokyo, you're gonna see mostly taxis, utility vans, miniature fire trucks, miniature buses. Although it is an insanely magical place, the challenges to any car culture in any geographical region still stand. But do not let this deter you. Just let it be a steering in the right direction. You have Ebisu, which is a 1-hour train ride outside of Tokyo. You have Daikoku parking lot meets, which are about an hour and a half away from Tokyo by train. You have a lot of things that you can go see, but just don't think that you're gonna sit in Shibuya or in Shinjuku or Akihabara and look over your shoulder and magically find GTRs everywhere. Unless you're us, because this night in Shibuya, right after Tokyo Auto Salon, there was a crazy Fast and Furious style USDM lowrider car meet 25 meters from the crossing that was truly unbelievable. But I do have to point out that this is Saturday night after Tokyo Auto Salon, which is like saying, what does the Las Vegas Strip look like the night after SEMA? It's expected to see some cool stuff, and we did, and I was super happy about it. But if you're planning on heading to Japan to find car culture, just keep in mind, you need to go find it. You need to set up the meetings, you need to get out of Tokyo, and you have to be willing to take that time to go hunt down those cars. But if you do that, you will find them. I'm gonna try my best to get through this next section without getting political in any sort of way. The Japanese people are absolutely incredible. They are so welcoming and they are so kind. They're just, as a culture, their culture and the way it works is incredible. And it's something everybody should experience. I'll say the first thing that jumps out at you being an American is, given our history with, you know, the nuclear bombs and stuff, you would think more people would just have a distaste for you. You would think there would be more just nasty looks in the streets or unwelcoming people or anything like that. And I have never experienced it once in Japan, which is incredible to me. And if you push the history aside, the other huge thing is that their culture is a culture of following the rules. I've seen so many comments about, why are you guys wearing masks? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Their rules are to wear masks, and so their people wear masks, even outdoors where it is widely accepted that pointless. I think a lot of the people there know that as well, but they follow the rules. And when you have a community and a culture that all agrees to follow the same rules, amazing things can happen. I was out late a lot of nights. I saw zero homelessness. I saw zero fights. We went to a back alley street in Shibuya where everybody was getting blasted drunk, having a great time. When it came time to go buy our beer, everybody formed a perfect single file line, snaking in and out of the 7-Eleven, going by the beer locker, getting what you wanted, and going back outside to have a party. There was no drama, just fun times to be had. And it's so different from me coming from America, where a lot of our culture was founded on the idea of questioning the rules and breaking the rules. And good things can come from that, and have came from that in my culture as well. But like I said, how it works in Japan and how amazing the results are is just something to be seen and something to be lived through. Tokyo is the safest large megacity in the entire world, and it is very evident while you are there. And when you mix that with how amazingly nice and welcoming the people are there, it makes for an experience where you just can't lose. And that's probably why the entire world loves visiting there so much. And I don't think they let any of us move there permanently. I'm just kidding. I got you guys on that one. Now, traveling with friends is so amazing. We scheduled this trip a few weeks before we left for SEMA. And when I was at SEMA, I was hanging out with Chris Fix and I was hanging out with Jason. And I asked the guys, hey, do you want to, you guys should come to Japan with us. If you've never been, you should come. We're all going. And now we're traveling with a group of 9 people. And when you travel with a group that large, it can be really hard to stay organized, to all agree on where to go. Dealing with the jet lag in Japan is tough, and some people will just fall asleep at dinner. And when you're tired, nerves can be on edge, but we had such an amazing time being able to share this experience together. There were countless times when we would just take a break and look at each other and go, oh my God, this is amazing. And don't forget that your friends help push you out of your comfort zone. Chris Fix and my friend Adrian insisted that we went to sumo, and I thought, man, sumo takes like 4 hours out of the day. Isn't there better things we could do? I was wrong. It was the best 4 hours that we could have possibly done that day. And although fitting 9 Americans into a lot of restaurants in Japan is really hard, it was really fun getting to share all that different food between everybody. We had eaten through a lot of the different cuisines within a few days. Yeah, food is another absolutely crazy thing there. There are so many people that practice making the perfect dish for what I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like the majority of their life. Like that's what they dedicate their time to doing, be it an amazing sushi chef or an udon chef or whatever it may be. There's so many different amazing things to eat in that country that come from there. And it's like insanely top-notch quality. And then just to boot, it is at an extremely good value right now. It's just so incredible. I think the most expensive meal we had was $43 a person. Most nights we would eat and drink until we could not eat or drink anymore, and the tab would be about 20 bucks a person. And speaking of friends, Zane is still in Japan. Yeah, we left him there. No, but that's actually a good thing. And Zane just said, hey guys, like I know everybody's going home, I want to spend a little bit more time here. And I said, that sounds awesome, man. We'll see you back when you're ready to come back. But the impact that Zane had on being able to translate and help explain to us the culture that the Japanese people were explaining to him, as well as the culture that he already knew about. And he had friends there that are Japanese that went to college with him. Shout out to you, Yas, if you're watching this. That in one night were able to teach us so much about the culture and show us so many cool things. That is my number one recommendation, is if you can find a way to link up with somebody there that can teach you about the culture, that can help break down that language barrier a little bit, so you're not just consuming, but so you can have a conversation and you can dive a little bit deeper. It enhances the experience just that much more. Yep, I'm ready to go back.